Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Sunday morning, bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Anybody out there want coaching or mentoring, go check me out on my website, skyazrael.com. I always leave the link below. Got some soft music going, got some incense burning, some patchouli incense. So let's get into my notes. I do this every Sunday. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We got some good people on here. Maybe you guys can make a connection, in the comments or whatever. We're all one little happy family trying to move forward. Every Sunday, I just go through my notes. Studying is part of the program. You should be studying every single day. I typically ask my clients, what are you studying? And I often get the response of, nothing. Start studying, motherfucker. So let's just get into it. It's just some of the stuff that I went over this week. Turn this music down a little bit so it doesn't distract you guys. What happens when you start to question your own tribe? Have you ever questioned your own tribe? What is your tribe? Do you have a tribe? You probably do. Many people have many tribes. And it's very healthy to question them. You should question them. What have you gotten yourself into? Who are these people that I'm around all the time? How are they affecting me? How did I change? Did they change me? So what do you do when you start to question your own tribe? And sometimes we do this. We question the people that are around us because they're not going the direction that we want to go. Maybe they're all acting weird. Well, let's just try to understand who these people are. Who is my tribe? It could be my political party, my political affiliations. Many people are very gung-ho about their political beliefs, especially right now. And your tribe, your political tribe, the group that you have agreed with and followed, maybe for most of your life, maybe they're not going the direction that you want to go right now, and you're starting to question being a Democrat, starting to question being a liberal or being a libertarian or a conservative, and you're sitting there thinking, what the hell is this? What's wrong with you people? Your tribe might be your family. I probably should have said that one first because I think people assume their family is their tribe. You may not fit in with your family and you may not really be part of that tribe. You may have been born into it, but you're not really part of it. But you might be, and you might be one of them. You're just like them. And that may not be a good thing. You might be smart enough, like I did, to poke your head above the trees and realize, well, I'm in the wrong woods. I'm not supposed to be here around these types of people. Just because I was born into this family doesn't mean I got to stay here. Just because they're your family doesn't mean they have to be your best friends. But that's the next one. Your tribe might be your friends. Your shitty, stupid, idiot friends. Your go nowhere, do nothing, backwards, dumb friends. Your friends that are going to hell. And you're going to backslide with them all the way there. What, because you don't want to be lonely? Why did you end up in hell? Well, I just didn't want to be lonely. Isn't that a funny thing? Why are you here, man? What are you in for? Well, I was lonely. Your tribe might be the people at work, your work community. Your tribe might be the people in your neighborhood. Your tribe might be your nationalistic identity, your nation, your country. It's not always healthy. I don't mind being a nationalist, but that's not always the way to go. Depends on what direction your country's going towards. Let's go to the next one. Let's talk about standing firm when the world is changing around us. You got to stay true to who you are as you evolve. So you're evolving and you're changing. That's what evolution is. It's a slow change. But at that same time, you want to be able to find some things that can stay static, that can stay true, that can stay planted. So maybe things are changing around you, the world is changing around you, you're changing, but there's got to be some things that you stay true to. And that becomes who you are. It may be your religious beliefs, your moral beliefs, your virtue, your common sense. Study this stuff and settle on some truths, but be a work in progress. Be willing to evolve. Some people look at themselves as a perpetual reconstruction and they tear themselves down and they're always recreating themselves. That's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I suggest being more of a project where you add to it slowly. Let's go to the next one. It's a bit of advice. No amount of anxiety makes any difference to what's going to happen. You need to hear that again? No amount of anxiety makes any difference to what's going to happen. Cut it out. Makes you wonder, should we take life seriously or not? Some people take it so serious they feel like they have to be anxious. Their anxiety is somehow a survival tactic. It's not. Let's talk about fatherless boys. When you talk about fatherless boys, you're really talking about victimization culture. This is well-studied stuff. I grew up without a father. I reconnected with my father later in life. It was really weird. And I don't know if it was such a great idea. I'm glad in the long run that I found out who my dad was, but it almost destroyed me. And I'm not kidding. Fatherless boys join gangs to learn masculinity. A lot of times fatherless boys will latch on to brands of masculinity that are not really healthy, that what you might call toxic. That's not just a term that liberals invented, although it is one that they overuse, absolutely. I look back on my own life and why I had such a hard time as a boy, and I can point a lot of it to the fact that I didn't have a father. I look back on my young adult life, 20s, 30s, and I really struggled. I was an overgrown child, and Jordan Peterson talks about this. Overgrown children are, it's the worst. It's something, one of the most disgusting things ever is an overgrown child. I'm not proud that that's the way I was. I just ended up that way, and I had to work to break beyond it. One of the ways that I broke beyond it is I took some advice. I was told that you need to become the man that you always needed in your life. So I made that my mission. You fatherless boys out there, become the father that you always wish you had. Let's go to the next one. If you're easily hurt and easily killed, why should you have any self-respect? Become stronger, become tougher, become a warrior. Maybe for the first time in your life, you might get some confidence, real confidence. Here's some advice. For men, there's nothing but responsibility. All the men out there, that's all there is responsibility. That's what life is about, is responsibility. If you're having a hard time finding a direction, picking a goal, finding a path, get on the path of responsibility. Handle your business. Go help others. And do that every day until you're dead. That's what being a man is. There's nothing else. Let's go to the next one. Talk about marriage for a second. Why do you get married? Because you love the chick? Because you love her? I love you so much, and I want to marry you? It's not why you get married. You don't just marry for love. In fact, marrying for love is a French kind of postmodernist Enlightenment idea. For most of human history, marriage wasn't about love. It was a business partnership, mainly. What's marriage for? The mature way to look at it is that marriage is for having kids, for family, for building a family. Why do you get married? Why did you marry her? To knock her up. To spread my seed. Marriage is for kids. You don't get divorced Because it's not about love. It's not about your little happiness in your little relationship. The marriage is about the kids. You don't get divorced. I'm against divorce. I wasn't always. As I've gotten older and I've gotten more religious and I've studied more, I'm against divorce. And if I get married, we won't be getting divorced. We'll be married for life. Let's go to the next one. Absent fathers ruin society. Deadbeat dads, it's child abuse. You destroy little boys, you deadbeat dads. I know a guy who's a proud deadbeat dad, and it's hard for me to process how someone could be that way. Not only is he a proud deadbeat dad of 5 boys, 4 of which are in prison for violent crimes, he just had one of his sons had a baby of his own, and he advised the kid, because his son is also broke. This is generational welfare going on. This is a different topic. He advised the kid to leave the woman, and he said to him, and he told me about this, that he said to his own son, his fatherly advice to his son was that there's no shame in letting some other man raise your kid. I wanted to knock all his teeth out right there. Absent fathers ruin society. It's child abuse. You create broken kids who grow up to be destructive. Damn you to hell. Now, there is some psychology of fatherless behavior. Let's just go over it really quickly. You don't necessarily have to have these. If you grew up without a father, you might be a great guy. You might have really turned out wonderful. A lot of us don't. I absolutely had all of these. But here's just a handful of traits that are displayed psychological behavior of the fatherless child. Fatherless boys end up uncivilized little animals. Your father teaches you how to be civilized. Being civilized is a part of maturity and manhood. All you wild animal type dudes, you're little boys. You may have a poor work ethic, you may not know how to get a job or hold a job, and I've absolutely had that problem in my life. And this is a problem with fatherless children. Fatherless children are very often uncivilized, out of control, with a poor work ethic, can't hold down a job, get fired all the time, can't show up on time, don't understand how to even play the game right. Fatherless children often have a lack of morals. Your father teaches you what's right and what's wrong, punishes you for being wrong, for doing wrong, for thinking wrong, corrects you, teaches you right, guides you right. And people who don't have a father don't get this. Your mother can't teach you this stuff in the same way as a father. This is the role of the father. Many people who are fatherless display behavior of being socially aggressive. You may have a hard time having friends. You may fight a lot. You may be at the bar getting in people's faces all the time. You may be just stomping around town like a goon, trying to pick fights with people, just aggressive. I know a guy who gets in fights all the time, and he's married with kids and has a job, and he's getting in fights all the time, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that he grew up without a father and he just doesn't know how to act right. He wasn't taught right. Fatherless people, especially fatherless boys, can be sexually aggressive. Fatherless men can be sexually aggressive. That sexual aggression that you have may come from too much porn. It may come from you being stupid, but the reason why you're like that is because you didn't have a father to teach you right. This is what fathers teach their boys about sex, about women, about love, and the difference between it all, and how to do it right, how to act right. The last one on my little list, Psychology of fatherless behavior is trust issues. Do you have trust issues? All you badass bikers out there with your tattoo saying trust no one. Oh, you got it on a patch. You believe that's the way to be. Trust no one. You got daddy issues, son. Your dad should have taught you how to trust an honest man. Your dad should have taught you how to recognize what an honest man is. You don't know how to tell what an honest man is? I haven't. I've had to learn this. My dad didn't teach me none of this stuff. Let's end it off here with a little self-affirmation. Hope you guys have a good week. Grind forward. Do your best to reach that next level. You may have to struggle. You may have to struggle this week. But remind yourself and tell yourself, I ain't dead yet. When you're struggling this week, tell yourself, I'm not dead yet. Brush away those flies and buzzards. Stand up and move forward. Food for thought.